What's up? Sunny here. I want to quickly show you a really cool technique that you can use throughout the day to release desire, resistance, importance, any negativity. All right. I just had this quick idea to film this video. I'm just sitting on my desk here. I know I've never made a video here. By the way, if you want me to make casual videos on weekends, just like things that I just think about, ideas that I don't really put in videos all the time, and you want me to upload them on the weekends, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you want that, okay? Or comment it down below. But this is an advanced technique. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I'm not just even saying that. And I know that as soon as I say this technique, you're going to automatically say, man, that sounds too hard. And you're just not gonna implement it. I feel like your mind will be your greatest obstacle to you implementing this technique. You're going to want to do it. The idea of it is going to sound really cool, but when it comes to implementing it, your mind will always try to convince you that something else is more important right now in this moment. Your mind will be like, man, you forgot laundry, or you forgot to text this person back, or you forgot that email. So don't shy away from this. This isn't just an advanced technique. This is like the best technique to release resistance, okay? Because it connects you directly to source. Imagine a state of being where there is no thought, there is no past, no future, no goals, no fears, no wants, no not wants, no desires, no resistances, no people, no ads, no influence. There's just this silence, nothing else, right? And what if I told you that you can access that space, that you can access that realm for at least a little amount of time every single day? Matter of fact, you have the choice to do that right now. You are making a choice not to experience that. And by me saying that, you know, in a state like that, you don't have any desires, no goals, no people, no nothing. I'm not saying you have to let go of all of those things forever. I'm just saying, what if for like 5 minutes a day, you could enter that space where none of that stuff would matter. Everything that you love, everything that you hate, everything that you know to exist doesn't matter in those 5 minutes. Not like you forgot about it, but simply it just doesn't even exist. How relieving does that sound? Right? If you could just drop all this intellectual activity, this mental activity, just for 5 minutes a day, completely, not trying to do it, just actually accomplishing it for 5 minutes a day. How much relief would that bring you? And you probably actually underestimate the amount of not just relief, but results it would bring you. Not just results, but happiness, a feeling of well-being, love, bliss, security, oneness. And what if I told you have access to this right now, in this moment, but you've just forgotten how to experience the state and feel this state? And no, I'm not just talking about classic meditation. I promise. It's not just classic meditation. So now that I've kept you waiting for a decent amount of time, let's get into it. What is the actual technique? All right, so throughout the day, right? I want you to catch yourself thinking. And that is hard on itself, but you have to make it an initiative. You could even set reminders on your phone if you really like, but you have to catch yourself thinking. And then right away, then get into a state where you are super just observing your own thoughts, emotions. You're observing how your body feels, okay? You are just in an observer mode, and you are just trying to stay in that mode for as long as you can. If you miss it, it's okay. Come back to it whenever you remember to. But in that state, try to watch the inner movie that is being played, which are your thoughts. The constant stream of thoughts just always playing, right? Tune into them and just notice your mind strategizing, your mind planning, your mind trying to manipulate a certain situation, trying to get something from somebody else, analyzing a situation that happened already, or predicting how a future situation will come into being or play out. Just notice it. You don't have to do anything at this stage. Just notice how the mind is always just either analyzing or breaking something down or dissecting or manipulating, strategizing, planning. And then what you have to do is simply just drop all of it. Try to think no thoughts for just 5 seconds if you have to. Longer if you can. Just with the power of your will, let go of all of it. And for a second, simply just forget about everything. Just close your eyes and forget about everything. Pretend if you have to, because that will be just a doorway into the actual practice. But just forget about everything for just 5 seconds and just drop it all. Now you might say, Sunny, how do you just let it all go? I can't just let it all go. I can't just drop it at will. You can. Now let me ask you this. If someone came to your house right now, or wherever you're sitting, and pointed a gun at your head and said, you have to stop thinking for 5 seconds, would you do it? Could you do it? If you could, that means you can. If you could do it, if you had to do it, that means you can do it right now. It's just that you're making the choice not to, because it isn't as important for you to do it as compared to the opposite. So if you could do it, you can. It is a choice. So that's exactly the approach I want you to take. Notice the mind constantly planning, strategizing, and then constantly drop it in that moment, everything, just for 5 seconds. And within those 5 seconds, just notice what's left. Notice the presence. Notice the watcher that is behind the layers of mind, layers of constant analyzing and strategizing. The watcher that sits behind the thinker. And simply, you don't have to do anything. That's all you have to do. You just have to experience that state for seconds at a time. And eventually this practice builds up. Matter of fact, in the beginning, you're going to think that it's just pointless and it's not doing anything. But every single contact that you have with that presence, that watcher behind the thinker, you grow in conscious awareness more than you think. The more control you gain over your actual self, your ego, your personal identity that you have built for yourself. So just by dropping everything for 5 seconds at a time, multiple times a day, constantly coming back to it, constantly doing it more full of awareness every single time, with more presence, with more willingness, you get better and better at it, and this silence actually gets longer and longer. And the more you do it, the more you start to raise your conscious awareness, the more you start to identify with the self, not the ego. So when we talk about higher self, soul, spirit, we are talking about that presence that is left behind the thoughts, the layers of mind, of intellectual activity. When we refer to the higher self, we are talking about that watcher behind the thinker. And when you drop everything for just 5 seconds, you get to experience your true self, your true state, just the blank bliss, happiness. And over time, you come to a greater and greater and greater understanding of it, greater connectedness of it, and it becomes easier to just launch that state. Now, that eventually leads to the realization of self. I'm not there yet, but I'm assuming. But start with this. Just start with the 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds at a time. How doable is that, right? It's so easy, but we live unconscious lives. That's why it's so difficult for us to do. So know that if you are not experiencing that state, it is a choice that you're making to not experience it because something else is there that you consider to be more important. So don't complain when you say, oh, I can't stop thinking. Oh, I can't let go of my desire. How do you reduce importance? You're making a choice not to reduce importance. You're making a choice to not be present. You're making a choice to be in that state, to think those thoughts, because you have the choice right now to just drop it all and experience the soul, the observer, the watcher. So I know I repeated myself a little bit in this video. I know I went into detail on this one exercise, but I did it because otherwise your mind wouldn't have accepted it and tried it out in real life. And maybe you still have a lot of resistance to trying this because you think it's too hard or advanced. Just try it and see how it goes. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. All right? But I'm excited for you to try this out and let me know how it went because it has been a game changer for me. Just experiencing the observer again and again and again and just really meditating and staying in that observer mode and just always, doesn't matter how important the thought may seem, just drop it, let it go if you notice it. If you notice yourself thinking, just let it go. I know you might think, oh, well, how's anything gonna get done? How am I gonna achieve anything or, reach my goals? Let it all go. I promise. The more you let go, the more you gain access to that intelligence, that natural intelligence that will effortlessly flow through you and create everything that you want to create. But you have to just become more conscious to allow that intelligence to flow through you. You have to make room for that intelligence. Get rid of the clouds of mind and get behind all those layers and just witness the observer. Be the watcher behind the thinker. All right, let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions. Give me a thumbs up, by the way, if you are going to try this technique. All right, but other than that, remember, Reality Transurfing course, March 18th, my birthday, Monday. So watch out for that. But I'll see you. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. All right, have a good one.